Well, I've got a lot of friends that hunt, and they take the deer to the processor. What exactly is wrong with that?
Well, realistically, there's nothing wrong with it. Like I said before, taking it to the commercial processor costs you hundreds of dollars per year. And realistically, I'd just like to go into a few points for you to remember. If you'd ever talk to somebody else about it, you could tell them too, or they can just come to the website and learn on their own. The commercial processor, once you take a deer there, you don't know what happens to it after that. For instance, shotgun season, at any local butcher shop, there's going to be hundreds of deer there, hundreds of them. And whenever they get into the butchering process, especially when they're making deer sausage and deer burger, they're just hacking. There's multiple butchers hacking on deer, cutting stuff up, and a lot of times it all ends up in one big pot. And when they're grinding it up, making burger and sausage, it just doesn't. The chances are very, very slim that you're actually getting the same deer you brought there. So to me, that's a huge disadvantage.
So to save time, they just take everybody's deer, send it down the assembly line,
Essentially,
get it all
yeah.
into ground beef here, sausage there, kind of thing.
Right.
And in most cases, and then you just don't know whose your deer you're getting back.
Yeah, if you take a deer like early season to a commercial butcher, and there's not much going on as far as deer butchering, yeah, you're probably going to get your own meat back, but there's a lot of shotgun hunters out there, and that's the busiest time of year for the commercial butcher. And, even at that point, if you're getting just steaks cut out of a deer, and no burger, no sausage kind of thing, yeah, you still got a chance of getting some of your own steaks back, but I guarantee you they're going to be cutting someone else's deer up at the same time. So you've always got that chance of getting back somebody else's steaks that you don't know where they shot it, you don't know how they treated the animal after they shot it, and there's just a lot of unknowns,
So basically, if you want your deer back, get yourself some special cuts.
Yeah, if you want your own deer back, you're best off doing it yourself. And that's the other disadvantage to commercial processing to me is, if you're butchering your own deer, you actually get to make a choice on what steaks you want cut from where and what quality they are.
Right.
There might be a bloodshot piece of a shoulder or a ham, because there are guys that shoot deer in the ham, believe it or not, which I certainly don't recommend. But you get to decide whether or not you want to keep those steaks or not. And the commercial butcher, yes, a lot of them are professionals. They know what's good meat and what's not, but not all of them are the same. And you're completely dependent on their judgment on the quality of steak you get cut. And then the other thing is, I've mentioned a couple times already, when you shotgun season especially, or rifle season, depending on where you're at, there's hundreds of deer at that processing center. So they obviously can't skin all of them at the same time and cut them all up at the same time. So your deer might just sit on a concrete floor or in a refrigerated trailer somewhere for a matter of days.
So you have time to get to it.
Piled up on top of a different deer. And in my opinion, that's just not a good situation for high quality venison. And here at Hunter's Kitchen, we're going to show you how to, most of the time it's cool outside, so you can just hang the deer in your garage and hang it for 7 days, which I definitely recommend, to allow that meat to season, if you will. And then that's
just by hanging there.
Yeah, just by hanging it. That's what a butcher does with the beef.
Really?
When they hang a beef when they butcher a beef at a processing center, they'll kill that beef and they'll let it hang for a period of days before they actually start cutting it up. Because just process of time allows the meat to tenderize and break down, the tissue to break down.
Does it have anything to do with bacteria, like cheese, or is it just the way that a carcass or dead animal maturates?
It's bacteria. It's the decay process. But a certain amount of decay, 5-7 days of decay on your meat is not a bad thing. And you can even notice it when you're butchering.
No.
The meat cuts so much better. It's not all bloody and slimy. you know, the blood kind of starts to break down on its own. And the saying I say every time after I cut a deer, it cuts like butter when it's been hanging there in your own garage after you've skinned it. You know, it's prime condition, and you just can't get any better venison by doing it that way.
Interesting. I had no idea.